Good morning, everyone. Even though it's probably not the morning that you're watching this video. It's Saturday. It's April 27th, 2024. We're going to talk about three sports: NBA, NHL, and baseball. Let's get to it. It was a decent day yesterday. A lot of what I said actually happened, unlike the previous day where almost everything I said didn't happen. It's sports betting. What are you going to do? So let's talk about basketball first. I said yesterday there were two teams to play at underdog lines by the time we did this video because the Bucks Pacers game had already started, which by the way was an overtime game that was really close. The Bucks had more injuries also yesterday and they lost this game. So whatever, we stayed away from that game because of timing and of injuries as well. But I said take Minnesota and take the Clippers on straight bets because they were both underdog lines. Once again, NBA algorithm picks at the top of the list with big margins. In this case, 8% margin for the Timberwolves. They have no trouble and they beat the Suns. This is one where you get a nice favorable line because they're on the road and people like to play home teams in the playoffs in NBA. It's really obvious when you see the lines and see the comparisons. So if you made straight bets on both of those teams, you win because you get a plus 180, I think is what I got them at yesterday. So you win 1.8 on your money and then you lose your bet on the Clippers who were not close against the Mavericks. But you do win doing straight bets on both of them. That's the way you play that. I said do that. If you did that, you won. 27th today. Are the Celtics going to blow another one to the Heat like they did? They were at minus 1,100 a couple days ago when they played the Heat last time. You can see the line dropped all the way to minus 400 because everybody who bet the Celtics got had up in Boston. So the line has been lowered to minus 400, which is actually kind of reasonable. Celtics probably don't blow this again. Look at this enormous margin of 25%. And the injury factor on Miami, like it's really only if there's some funny business going on in Boston are the Celtics going to blow this game, but I don't think they want to lose this series. So the Celtics are probably going to win this game. It says that with this margin, it's even worth it at minus 400. So it probably goes on a parlay. Nuggets, are they going to sweep the Lakers? Algorithm says yes. Notice that the line on the Nuggets is now minus 159, where it was actually an underdog line 2 days ago, right? See this 2 days ago? They were plus one. Sorry, it wasn't underdog line. It was minus 102. It was just barely favored. Algorithm had them a couple days ago, has them every day. It's only the injury report that's changing every day because the season stats are fixed at this point. So it does say Nuggets. It says Thunder also getting a very reasonable line against the Pelicans. It's because people think going down to New Orleans, it's Creole time. By the way, Oklahoma City, not that far from New Orleans. It's not that far. I've done that drive before. It's not that bad. Just got to cross over the 40. Anyway, point is will the Thunder win? Probably. And then I'm not even going to make a comment about the Cavaliers Magic game. I said take the Magic 4 days ago because of injuries to Cleveland. Cleveland crushed them. Then I said take Cleveland when they went down to Orlando, and Orlando crushed them. This game continues to be in Orlando. The the Cavaliers injuries are still there. I ain't speaking on this game because whatever I say will lose. So from NBA, you get Celtics, Nuggets, and Thunder. Oh my, there you go. Three teams. That's NBA. Hockey. Everything I said that came to hockey happened yesterday. Did the Rangers win? Of course they did. Caps don't have a chance, even though they keep starting off the game 1-0. It's like 30 seconds later, it's tied, and then they're trailing the rest of the game. They lose. We almost get the exact score, pretty close to the exact score, slightly off. Did get the Vancouver-Nashville game slightly wrong. I thought that Nashville would potentially win against the Smith. But here, the Smith proves to be wrong, and Vancouver plays some defense and wins a lower scoring game. That was a big win for them. So they do win 2-1. Algorithm sort of gets it right because it gets it right by adjusted power, but doesn't get it right by score. So it's kind of a mixed bag there. Winnipeg loses to Colorado. Colorado's offense is there, but I said take the over. Over 6.5 you actually had to take. And while this doesn't add up to 6.5, this is one where Ken beat the algorithm. although you have a 3-3 tie, the game has to have 7 goals. So technically, I think that is an over that it's predicting. They get there. Also, Edmonton and LA gets over as well at 7. And Edmonton wins this game. So NHL algorithm has a pretty good day, both score-wise and projection-wise. How about today? We've also got 3 or 4 games. How many we got? 4 games. That's right. Carolina should complete the sweep of the Islanders. You do have Varlamov going instead of Sorokin today. He has a good rating. Will he put enough spark in there for them to win? I don't know. Carolina is just really, really strong, as you can see. So it's not a great line, but it's also hockey, and it just feels like after the Islanders blew that game too, that Carolina will continue. Anderson's going to play. If for some reason they don't start Anderson, that's the only reason not to bet them. So I'd wait till he's confirmed. But if he's confirmed, you want to go with Carolina. So we'll tentatively say Carolina to win. Florida, are they going to sweep Tampa Bay? Algorithm does say yes. It's Bob versus Vassal again. And I incorrectly said playing under last time in this game, whatever. It's just Florida to win. The line's a little worse than it was last time, but people are thinking they're going to sweep, and they probably will. Boston-Toronto is the grudge match. This is the only series. Well, this series is also 2-1, I believe, right? No, Vegas is up 2-0 in this series, I think. Notice how close this Dallas-Vegas series. It really doesn't know, except that Vegas is defending the cup, and Ottinger has not performed well in the playoffs. As much as I like him as a goaltender, he just hasn't shown that he wins playoff games. So it could be Vegas again. And the Boston-Toronto game goes either way. They're definitely going with Swayman, though, which kind of puts us in favor of Boston. Boston trying to make amends for not getting past the first round last year. And Toronto, a team that, like, a franchise that knows how to lose. So I'll say Boston, but this is going to be close. And the game that has man, I don't know. It's just close. It's hockey. But we're looking at Carolina, Florida, Boston, and I don't know. It's hockey. I don't know. There's never really picks of the day in hockey. Hockey's just too tough. So let's go over to baseball. Yesterday's baseball. Take a look at this. So this is the snapshot of yesterday's results before we talk about today. A 10-4 day, which is actually pretty good, and it was a profitable day. I would imagine. I didn't run all the profit or look at the profitability, but this looks like a profitable day at 10-4. Look at what loses. 3 out of the top 4 games, which normally I would say that means we need to reevaluate our combination string, except these games were at horrible lines, and it's just a weird off day where the White Sox win their 4th game of the season. They're 4-22. Like, once in a while it happens. So it happened today while they were at home. Baltimore loses to Oakland after blowing a lead, I think, in the 9th. A very close, low-scoring game. I mean, but these lines are miserable, and the algorithm and the odds makers, unfortunately, we're now really getting into some alignment where we see these awful lines on top, and it's rare to see something like the pick of the day, which was Washington, all the way up here to -110. You know, as we continue to beat the odds makers daily with this, then they just adjust to it. Like, there's nothing you can do, which is one of the reasons why I'm not doing this in May. I have to stop. We're just stopping at the end of April. The only thing you're going to get out of me is I will do daily videos until the pick of the day loses. We are now at 11 days in a row since I started doing the pick of the day this year that the pick of the day has won. I will not stop doing videos while the pick of the day continues to win. So you can cross your fingers and hope that the pick of the day wins from now until the end of the season. And I am stuck doing videos. By the way, if that happens, if the pick of the day wins, like, 100 something days in a row, we all should be millionaires by that point. It's not going to happen. As soon as I start betting on the pick of the day, it's going to lose. That you can guarantee. But I will keep doing videos until the pick of the day loses. So we'll see what the pick of the day is going to be today. But anyway, yeah, so I'm not going to adjust the combination string because this is fine. Mets lost the game 4-2, but then everything else wins. Milwaukee as the underdog wins. Minnesota is slightly at an underdog line, kind of down there. Philadelphia win, like stuff just wins. It's just weird that the top lost. Arizona lost pretty bad 6-1, but I mean everything else wins. So it's a good day. And in the pick of the day, we luckily dodged these two games because their lines were so bad. The pick of the day, Washington wins. So I mean it's a pretty successful day. I actually won a little money yesterday. How about that? A little bit. Not too much, but a little bit. So what about today? Well, we've run the macro and we see that there's no surprise that anybody playing the White Sox is the number one pick, but the line is minus 225. Still probably a good pick for a round robin and a parlay. Are the White Sox going to win 2 games in a row? Probably not. Can happen, but probably not. So it looks like the pick of the day is going to be one of these 2 games, either Arizona or Washington again. So we're going to look at those games and diagnose and figure out which one it is. I'm leaning toward Arizona. It's just seeing the projected runs and the power and the margin. We will take a look though and figure that out. We have 6 games above 10% margin. Those are all of these. But Houston's at minus 210 against Colorado. That looks like it's too bad of a line for all the way down here. Atlanta, St. Louis, Kansas City, above 5% margin-ish. And then you've got Baltimore, LA, San Francisco, Philly. Once again, another underdog of Milwaukee over the Yankees down here, and then Texas over Cincinnati, but these margins are low. Let's look at this game by game and do our analysis. We need combination string 178, which we are going to continue to go with because it's been doing pretty well. Been happy with it. Let's just make sure that we refreshed on combo 178. I add the combo down here so you can see it. Yeah, no, actually it moved a little bit. Sorry, we didn't have 178 in here. That's even more confirmation that we're probably going with Arizona. All right, so let's double check everything here. Dodgers in Toronto. Dodgers now the 3 pick of the day, winning a fairly low scoring game, 4-2. Glass now and Yusei Kikuchi, both good pitchers. Yusei Kikuchi and I say hello. All right, so the Dodgers, probably. Oakland and Baltimore, close game with some runs. It says they hit the over. Cole Irvin's ERA is a little higher than JP Sears, that's why. So Baltimore barely, but an over coming in this game. It's a little overcast and potentially rainy here in the nation's capital DMV area. See if that has anything to do with what's going on. But these are all sort of mid-afternoon to later games today. Cincinnati and Texas. Texas, very slightly, but it's a kind of a toss-up game. St. Louis and the Mets. Today favors St. Louis. Yesterday favored the Mets. That's because Sonny Gray's going. And Adrian Hauser. People are taking it to the Hauser on Hauser. 0-2, bad ERA. That's a pretty good line for St. Louis. Pitching matchup not favoring the Mets at all in this game. So that's pretty good for St. Louis there. Chicago and Boston. Ben Brown's got no decisions, but a little better ERA. Winchkowski. So they must be doing something where they're rotating pitchers here. They did this in the Marlins Nationals game yesterday too, where they're doing like a bullpen game. I'm pretty sure that's what Winchkowski is doing, is he probably only pitches a couple innings and then they're bringing in another primary or something. Makes these a little bit tougher to predict. Yeah, that makes this, it's tougher prediction. You almost got to figure out how they're going to play this game and insert another pitcher in there to figure out what's going on. For that reason, I'm going to stay away from this, even though it says the Cubs win and the margin's pretty good at 13%. So they probably win. Washington, Miami. Now, here you got Mitchell Parker going, pitching well. Edward Cabrera also pitches pretty well. So you got a 16% margin for the Nats, and it favors their lineup factor today. Interesting. So they probably do win. I just want to check that Arizona game because this is still possibly potentially pick of the day material. But I do think that the pitching matchup, wow, Mitch Parker has pitched really well. Whips higher for Edward Cabrera. I mean, Every single thing here favors the Nats. Every single factor. Every single one. So we really got to look at that Arizona game because I'm tempted to say the Nats are the pick of the day again. Houston and Colorado. So the minus 210 line is bad here. Only 10% margin. Ronel Blanco pitches very well. Cal Quantrill 0-2. That's why. Games in Colorado. Over under. Wait a minute. Over under is set at 16. Is that right? No. No way. No way. No way. I mean, I know it's Colorado, but are you kidding? Is that right? Is that right? Hold on a second. What the hell? Wow. Wow. All right. Well, I don't know how you don't take an under that's set at 16. I don't care that it's Colorado. That's freaking insane. If that's right, you should probably take it under in that game. I mean, what happened? Like, I don't care if excuse me, the air is thin. Maybe the temperature is right. I don't know. I've seen the over-unders at like 11, 12, but that's crazy. That's just crazy. That's a crazy of the day. Take under 16 and a half if that's what the over-under is. That's just insane. Just the odds that they get there, it's just ridiculous. All right. Kansas City and Detroit. Kansas City barely. Kansas City playing pretty well. Brady Singer pitching pretty well. Casey Mize also pitches pretty well. Says the under in this game. Notice that it's set at 8 though. But Kansas City in the under there, but not great. Here's your Tampa Bay. Savale pitches pretty well. Jonathan Cannon. I mean, if this is one of those days where the White Sox pull off 2 wins in a row, not likely. Not likely with Cannon here. Notice that Tampa Bay's lineup factor is probably what's causing their problems. They lost 9-4 yesterday. So it's somehow if the White Sox can put up a bunch of runs and outscore them, that's the only way they're going to lose. But with Cannon pitching, it's just probably not. So Tampa Bay probably wins this game. It would be the pick of the day if it was any kind of reasonable line, but it's not. So it's just on there for round robin. So we got issues with projected score and margin just conflicting with the Yankees Milwaukee situation. So even though it has Milwaukee winning by margin, underdog line, it doesn't have them winning by points. So it's really stay away, difficult game to play there. It doesn't really know. Cleveland, Atlanta, but the line's minus 178. Both good pitchers in Charlie Beebe and Tanner Beebe and Charlie Morton. They have good lineup factors and good pitchers. You can see that everything's kind of in line exactly with what the algorithm says and what the odds makers would say here. That the over-under is around 8.5, 9, because even though these pitchers are good, their ERAs are still hovering in the mid-4s and the teams can hit. So you get a nice hot day or something in Atlanta, and I don't know if it's raining. There's like storms and stuff around coming from the west to east, so I don't even know what's going on. But that's a tough game to play. Like everything's right in line with the odds makers, so it's tough to get value in that game. Philadelphia and San Diego. Super low scoring game because of Suarez and Cease. Look at these great pitchers. Over under set at 7.5 because of that. Both of these teams can hit though. Talk about one of the best games of the day, just quality wise, should be this. Great pitchers, good hitting. I mean, Ranger Suarez is 4-0. That's why you get this really interesting line here. A dogfight that's going to be a good game. It's Philadelphia at a reasonable line. The margin is low, but the strength, like look at the team power. That's another thing I don't talk about. It's something that highlights itself here. I haven't talked about it all this year. When it's showing up in green or red, it's actually showing the strength or the weakness compared to all other games. Like it says like the team power wise, the Dodgers have one of the top team powers listed on the day. Philly has one of the top team powers. Arizona has the top team power listed in the day. It's probably why it's pick of the day material. So just one thing to look at. And the pink means it's one of the worst, right? So like one of the worst margins of the day is this Seattle, is this White Sox, is this Miami. Like it's just another thing to look at where green is good and pink is bad. I set that up with a conditional formatting formula. I believe it's the top 15% is what it said. It's either 10% or 15%. Let's look at what I actually wrote in here as the formula. I can't even remember. It is the bottom 10% or top 10% is what it is. H through I, H. Yeah. And looks like I don't have it set. Yeah, that's what it does. That's fine. 10% on both of those. So that's pretty cool to look at, which meaning that's why it's a pretty good pick. Even though the margin is close here, they are a really strong lineup for the day. Pittsburgh and San Francisco. This is San Francisco. They won yesterday. This is about a 4-3 game. Jordan Hicks pitching great. Martin Perez also pitching pretty well. Margin's still pretty low and the line's not great. You can see the Philly line is much better for a low margin like that than the San Francisco line is. So if you pick one of those two teams, you probably pick Philly instead of San Francisco. Minnesota and LA, we have LA Angels winning this game with Soriano, who's 0-3. Interesting, because Paddock's ERA is bad. Once again, close margin, just difficult to play this game. Says they go over somehow, but even with these, I don't like this game at all. This game's messy. Stay away from that. And finally, what do we do with Arizona and Seattle? Well, here's a reason potentially not to make Arizona the pick of the day. Slade Ciccone has only had one start, and it was 6 innings. He pitched okay. His whip was good, but his ERA was still at 3. He won, but it was one start. George Kirby's 2-2, going 5 innings. Sorry, going 5 innings a game, and his ERA is 5.33. The lineup factor for Seattle is lower, but the bullpen ERA is better than Arizona. And Ciccone is only at 6 innings. I think we have to say no, that it's actually not the pick of the day. Because you want the pick of the day to have confirmation in every single stat. And look at this. Average runs allowed for Seattle is also better. BABIP is the same. And we've only got a 6. And look, there hasn't been enough innings for Slade Ciccone. I don't even recognize that name, Slade Ciccone. Sounds like a dirty Italian name to me, if you know what I mean. Hey, Slade, we need you to throw a game here because Kenny's got you as the pick of the day. I am overruling my assessment as Arizona being the pick of the day, but I'm overruling it with the basis of what's going on with the algorithm, meaning a couple of these stats don't favor Arizona. It's not like the Washington game where every stat does favor Washington. Wins, innings pitched, whip, ERA, lineup factor, bullpen ERA, BABIP, average runs for, and average runs allowed. Every single thing favors Washington, which means Washington is the pick of the day, everybody. So we are overruling Arizona because we just don't have enough information on their starting pitcher. We'll see if that works out. So, and also look at that. Washington on the macro average is also higher. So the Nats, again, are the pick of the day. We'll see if we can go 12 days in a row with picks of the day winning. And in summary, like playable stuff, Tampa Bay. Arizona is still playable, obviously, but it's not pick of the day. The Dodgers, I said Philly was playable with that really strong lineup. There were some other things. So there you go. 3 more days of videos, unless the picks of the day keep winning every single day, which they won't win forever. So I will be stopping. But there we go. Good luck, everyone. I hope your picks win today, and go Nationals. It's in Miami. Maybe the top will be down. The roof will be off like it's been off a lot of times this season down at Lone Depot Park. But we'll see if it happens. Go Nats. Good luck, everyone. May all of your picks be winning, and I'll be working hard actually all day doing non-sports related stuff because it's a busy Saturday, busy weekend. All right, good luck. May all your picks be winning.